If you're interested in trying foiling on cards, but you're not quite ready to commit to buying a bunch of hot foil plates, this video is for you. Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel, and in today's video I am really excited to be able to share with you that I have one of the brand new Gina K Designs fuse machines. This version is the white machine, and there are also some new Polyglaze sheets available. Maybe you were never able to get your hands on the purple machine, or maybe you were holding out for this white version. But either way, I want you to get a chance to grab this machine because it is so easy to use and the outcomes are absolutely gorgeous. So first, let's unbox this version of Gina K Designs fuse machine. So here's the box that the brand new white fuse foiling system from Gina K Designs comes in. It's a nice sturdy box. It's got a handle. You can see I can hold the handle with one finger, and that is because this machine is not super heavy. You'll be able to move it around your craft room. There also is a carrier sheet that comes in the box, and I'll show you how to use that as we go through the video. But what I really love is there's a manual. You're not going to need to use it too much if you just follow some basic instructions from me. Hopefully you'll be able to just go and start foiling as soon as you get your new machine, and that's what I want to show you how to do. But that manual is there to answer questions and provide lots of detail. There's also really great packaging on this machine to keep it very safe during shipping. So we have that styrofoam ends that make it really safe even if it's being bumped around in the shipping. So then you want to make sure you remove all of the packaging off the fuse machine before you plug it in and turn it on. So there is some plastic wrap that you can just pull right off. There also is a protector on the plug to make sure that it doesn't bend during shipping. So remove that as well, and then you'll be able to plug in the machine and get going on your foiling. I mentioned the machine is not very heavy. It's also not very large. So if you have a small area to craft, the opening is a 6-inch opening, perfect for card makers. And you can see that it's much smaller than my glass mat. So it really is able to be used on a small desktop surface. And you can really use this without having to make a ton of room in your craft space. So once you plug in the machine, you're going to want to turn it on. There's an off-on switch on the back, and there's also a jam release on the back. And that probably will not even happen for you, but just in case you do get jammed, you can use that jam release. After you place the on button, there's a teal button that is the level of heat that you want to use, and I like starting with 3. Now that you've seen this gorgeous new machine, let's give it a test drive and see how it works with the Polyglaze sheets. Before we even dive into Polyglaze, I do want to show you how it works with toner printed sheets. A toner printed sheet will look like this, and it will be black and white. And that is the toner is that black ink, and it will adhere the foil to the toner. So anywhere there is black, you can end up with foil. The other really important thing to remember here is to use a specific type of foil. You're going to use either Deco foil or Gina K Designs foil or Picket Fence Studios foil, any foil that says that it is meant to be used with toner. What you're not going to use is hot foiling foil. That is a totally different way to adhere foil. I'll place the foil on top with the color side facing up towards me. I like that level 3 for basic cardstock like toner sheets and Polyglaze. And I'll place it inside the carrier sheet, and the folded edge or closed edge will go into the opening of the fuse machine. Make sure you have enough room behind the fuse machine so that the entire carrier sheet can come out. Now, it doesn't happen this fast. I did speed that up a little bit, but it really only takes about 30 seconds to go through. It was not a long time at all. The great thing is it doesn't take as long to warm up as, say, a laminator. And check that out. Now, there is one little spot there that was probably just a dust piece that I didn't get rid of. Here are all the Polyglaze new foil sheets. You can see snowflakes, birthday candles, hearts, stars, flowers, balloons. There's so many different options and they're all so gorgeous. The reason I love the Polyglaze is because, like you can see, it is not printed in toner. It is not that black print, so it really is easy to cover with the foil. And you'll see here that I'll just peel off my foil off the Polyglaze sheet, and I have this excess piece here that I'm going to lay down on the white Polyglaze sheets that you can get from Gina K Designs. These are plain white sheets, but they're not regular cardstock. They will adhere the foil down to those white sheets. So place that with that used piece of foil, and you can see I rotated it. That was because I had made some lines, and by rotating it, I'm going to flatten that out, so I'm going to get full coverage on this Polyglaze sheet. So instead of the black background, I have a white background, and now with the foil, I can have a silver background with white snowflakes instead of black snowflakes. Maybe you've seen toner sheets where the entire sheet is black and you can do this 2-for-1 foiling. Well, these white Polyglaze sheets are similar, only check that out. So with those Polyglaze white sheets, you can get 2 different versions of the same design. So you'll see on the left was the Polyglaze regular snowflake design, and on the right was the opposite of it. Here I have rainbow stars and they are absolutely gorgeous. And here I have white stars with a rainbow background. So I'm using one piece of foil, one on the Polyglaze design, and one with the second piece on a Polyglaze white sheet. Here, I'll take off one of the Polyglaze design, and then I'll place it on a white Polyglaze sheet, and I'll get the reverse, the pink in the background. Same thing here. I have those blue foiled candles, and then here I have white outlines of candles with a blue background. Same thing here, only here the lesson learned here is to make sure you cut your foil in a nice even rectangle, otherwise you're going to miss some spots like I did. Here's the flowers in the gold in the background and white flowers. So all of these are with those either the Polyglaze designs or the foil on the Polyglaze white sheets. To finish some of these cards, I have a stamp set and die set from Gina K Designs. The stamp set is called Funky Flowers, and it has a bunch of great sentiments that you can also die cut out. So for this white stars with the rainbow background, I am using just the sentiment that says birthday wishes. For the balloons where I missed the corner, I'll just trim that down and place it on an A2 piece of white cardstock. And again, that sentiment, birthday wishes, popped up. You don't need much more than that. For this version of the balloons, which was the original Polyglaze design, I am cutting out the entire design as one full piece. So I thought that would be a slightly different look, and then I'll use a little bit of Distress Oxide ink. I'm not actually inking up these brushes. I'm just using whatever ink is on them to give the balloons a translucent, light colored look, which balloons, I think, a lot of times have, and just to add a little bit of extra color to this Polyglaze design background. Now I'll pop that up, and this time I'm using the same sentiments but with white heat embossing on black cardstock. And this time I'll use the word celebrate and pop that up on some black foam squares. For the rainbow stars on the white background, that was the original Polyglaze design, I will use congratulations. Again, you really don't need to add anything else. If you want to, you absolutely can, but you don't have to. For the candles, I am adding some ink blending. Just don't forget that these foiling designs resist ink. It's not going to ruin the foiling. If you feel like some of the ink ends up on the foil, you can just buff it away with a slight soft cloth. And then I'll use the white heat embossed design on black cardstock that says birthday wishes. These cards are so easy to put together because those backgrounds are so gorgeous and the foiling comes out so beautifully that you don't really want to hide a lot of it. So, back in the days when I was using a laminator, even though I thought I was getting a lot of good looks to my foiling, a lot of times there'd be little black spots on the toner that I would have to cover up or cut down or whatever it was. So I don't need to do that with these polyglaze sheets. This one I'm trimming down just a little bit smaller so there's not that white edge, and I'll ink blend on top just to add a little bit of extra color. This time I am grabbing some ink from the pad just to make it a little bit darker, and then I'll pop this up on an A2 white piece of cardstock so that it has just a slightly different look. But again, I'm not adding anything other than a sentiment. You could add some embellishments or sequins, but you don't really need to because the foiling is so beautiful and it always comes out so well. That's why I did a ton of these, so that you could really see that they come out beautifully every single time and it wasn't just me getting lucky one time there. I mentioned this when I shared a video about the purple machine, that this machine is extremely high quality. I am so excited to be able to share it with you so that you can run out and get one if you don't have one yet. Thanks so much to Gina for sending it along, letting me test it out, and letting me let you know that it is now available. As always, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. I am really